Chapter 1. The Son He Never Wanted. I don't know if this belongs here, but I need to get it off my chest. My father was never a father. He was a tyrant in a cheap leather chair, with a bottle of whiskey in one hand and my entire childhood in the other, crushed to dust. He used to tell me, "You're weak. You'll never be a man. You'll never be anything." I was 7 when I started believing him. I was 10 when I started hating him. And by 16, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Leave him to rot in the very misery he created for me. But the thing about abusive fathers, they don't let go easily. Growing up in his house was like living under permanent thunderclouds. Mom tried to shield me. She would whisper, "Just study, just keep going. One day, you'll get out." She was the only warmth in that frozen house. Then she got sick. Cancer. She faded so fast it felt like she was being stolen from me piece by piece. And Dad, he didn't cry. He didn't hold her hand. He didn't even sit by her bed at the hospital. He gambled instead, sold her jewelry for cash. And when I begged him to stop, he looked me in the eye and said, "What's the point of saving a dying woman? Money's more useful in my hands." I wanted to kill him right there. When Mom died, everything inside me cracked. I expected some sort of humanity from him, a tear, a word, anything. Instead, at her funeral, while people lowered her coffin, Dad was too drunk to stand straight. He leaned on me, the son he hated, and whispered, "She was weak, just like you." That was the moment I swore I'd never forgive him. I worked any job I could get, stocking shelves, cleaning offices, fixing broken laptops for classmates, anything that would keep me away from him. Every dollar I made, I hid. Every night, I planned. At 18, I walked out with a single backpack. No goodbye, no note, just silence. He shouted after me, called me worthless, said I'd come crawling back. I didn't look back once. And for a long time, he was right. Life out there wasn't kind. I slept in basements, shared apartments with 6 strangers, lived on instant noodles. But at least I was free. At least I wasn't his. I built myself from nothing, worked my way through college, landed an internship, then a real job. Every promotion, every raise, every contract I signed, I thought of him. And every time I felt like giving up, I remembered his voice. "You'll never be anything." That voice fueled me more than any motivation ever could. Years passed, I grew. My life was finally mine. But somewhere deep down, there was this hunger. No, not just hunger, fire. I didn't just want to escape him. I wanted him to see me rise. I wanted him to choke on his own words. I wanted him to need me. And fate delivered. It started with a phone call. I hadn't spoken to him in over a decade. His number was a ghost I had buried. But one night, it lit up my screen. I let it ring. Once, twice, 3 times. Finally, against my better judgment, I answered. His voice, older, weaker, but still carrying that bitterness. "Son, I need help." I didn't say a word, just listened. His business was failing. The house was drowning in debt. The gambling had eaten through everything. He thought, maybe I could save him. And for the first time in my life, I smiled when I heard his voice. Because this wasn't weakness. This was the beginning of my revenge.
Chapter 2. The Lesson He Taught Me. I should have hung up the moment I heard his voice, but instead, I sat there, silent, listening to my father, the man who spent my entire childhood tearing me apart, beg me for help. He didn't even say sorry, not once, not for the years of abuse, not for the nights I went to bed hungry while he gambled away our food money, not for spitting on Mom's memory. No, he just said the words he swore he'd never say. I need you." I agreed to meet him. Part of me wanted to see him again, just to look in his eyes and know that the man who thought he was invincible had finally cracked. When I pulled up to the house, my stomach twisted. It wasn't even a house anymore. It was a tomb. The paint peeled, windows cracked, weeds taller than me crawling across the lawn. And there he was, my father. Older, thinner, shoulders hunched. He looked smaller than I remembered, almost pathetic. But when his eyes met mine, I saw it, still there, that glint of contempt, that refusal to ever admit what he had done. "You look better than I thought," he muttered. Not "I missed you," not "I'm proud," just a half-hearted jab. That was all I needed. The fire inside me reignited. He wanted money. The business was collapsing, the creditors closing in. He had no way out. And I had the money. More than he could imagine. Years of grinding, saving, investing, climbing, everything he said I'd never achieve, I had it. I could have saved him with a single transfer. I could have wiped his slate clean. I could have given him everything he begged for. But why would I? I played along. I asked about the business, the debts, the house. I nodded, acted concerned, even offered advice. For weeks, I let him believe I might actually help him. It was almost fun, watching him squirm, watching him try to pretend he respected me now that he needed me. "You were always smarter than me," he said once. I almost laughed. This was the same man who once called me a useless leech. But I didn't laugh. I just filed his words away. Every desperate attempt to butter me up, every fake smile, because I had a plan. See, his business was barely standing, but with the right signatures, the right money, it could be taken over. And I had the right money. So that's exactly what I did. Behind his back, I bought his debt. Every loan, every unpaid bill, every piece of his crumbling empire signed over to me. He didn't know it yet, but when he looked at his office, his trucks, even his damn stapler, it was mine. The day I walked into his office with the papers, I'll never forget his face. Confusion, anger, then fear. "What is this?" he demanded. I set the documents on his desk, leaned back, and smiled. "It's over, Dad. Everything you built, everything you destroyed along the way, it belongs to me now." He went red like he used to before he hit me. But there was no hitting this time. No power left in his fists, just trembling hands gripping papers he couldn't change. "You can't do this to me," he said. And that's when I finally let the years spill out. "You did this to yourself. Every bottle, every card game, every time you chose yourself over your family. You taught me, Dad. You taught me never to forgive weakness." I walked out that day not just as his son, but as the man who owned everything he once had. The house, the business, even the so-called friends who used to drink with him now shook my hand, called me sir. And him? He was left with nothing. Weeks later, he came to me again. This time not as the arrogant man in a leather chair, but as a broken old man, eyes wet, voice shaking. "Please, son, help me. I'm your father." And maybe some people would have relented. Maybe some people would have seen the old man, the blood connection, and given in. But not me. I looked him dead in the eye, and with the calmest voice I ever had, I said, "You stopped being my father the day you called Mom weak, the day you tried to break me. Now you can live with the consequences." I turned my back, walked away, didn't look back.